There was a lot of explosions taking place last night in occupied Crimea. In the overnight hours, according to a few Telegram groups, there was a good 30 minutes where there were explosions in multiple cities in occupied Crimea, some of which in Sevastopol, some in other areas. And right now we have that weird kind of timing where the attack happened, Ukraine hasn't said anything about it, and all we have are either people on the ground reporting things, pictures, videos, Telegram groups, some from pro-Ukrainian Telegram groups such as Crimean Wind, and a few other things, and whatever satellite imagery that has came up. And that's about it, leaving a lot of people to kind of speculate exactly what happened. But now we're getting something interesting, something from NASA. So let's go ahead and kind of talk about what the Russians are saying, what the Telegram groups are saying, and what NASA saw. So in the overnight hours, we know for a fact that there were explosions. A lot of photos and videos were put online, some of which were Russian ones, showcasing air defense systems taking down what were potentially drones and missiles. In the official announcement from the governor, we know that a 9-story building was hit with debris from these air defense systems and the rockets coming down or drones coming down. And so they evacuated a 9-story building. No one was injured. There was a lot of debris on the streets, on these buildings. That's all being cleaned up. But at the same time, we started getting information from Crimean Wind that it looks like some of these missiles or drones were going after Russian air defense systems, such as the S-400, something that Russia is very proud about. It's one of their newest ones. It's not an S-500, but it's one of the newer ones. And according to their report, they saw Ukrainian missiles attack an area that had a battery of these S-400s. A battery usually has about 12, but Russia is running very thin, so they could be done with about 4 to 6. And so according to this, there were 6 in that area that were hit. When it comes to the Russian news, they are claiming that Ukraine had sent multiple drones and ATACMS into Crimea to hit said targets, and that most of them were destroyed by air defense systems. And that's where things kind of get a little bit hazy, because you've got what the Russians are saying that pretty much nothing was destroyed, nothing was hit. Some things just were randomly. But then you start getting a lot of more intel from people on the ground who said, yeah, it was 4 S-400s that were destroyed and a radar station that is meant for that, which would mean there's a giant hole in the surveillance, or at least the protection for the Russians in Sevastopol because of that. But of course, the Russians are not going to come out and say, oh yeah, look at this, our air defenses are down, come on Ukraine, come on through. But weirdly enough, the one place where we kind of got some kind of confirmation, at least in the general area, that something was hit, was from NASA. It looks like they have some kind of fire detection satellite in space, which when it sees smoke, at least a lot of smoke, some kind of alarm goes off to be like, hey, there's something burning over there. We should probably see what that is. According to reports, that went off, and the satellites went and looked towards where it was, and that is where the S-400s were located. Which means, while we cannot confirm 100% that these S-400s were destroyed, we can say that there was definitely something that hit, and something is burning. Those satellites can't really see deep, so it's not like you can see and go, oh, well, that's definitely on fire. But something clearly happened. Now, were they ATACMS? It looks very likely that Ukraine did use ATACMS. The reason why I say that is because one of the videos that are now online is a man saying, look what we're using to hit Russia. And I mean, you can kind of tell those are ATACMS. Launching, going straight up and over and in. And I can't really tell exactly how many were sent up. Looking at all the videos, I mean, it seems like it could be, let me count it while I have you on here. We got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 8. were sent into occupied Crimea. And I mean, we do know that one was definitely taken down, but what is interesting is that you have to remember what an S-400 is. It is in advanced, very advanced air defense systems. And Russia was so proud of it, they're like, oh, nothing could stop it. The ATACMS is a ballistic missile. Something that this S-400 should have communicated with its radars, should have seen it coming in, should have launched and tried to take it down. But even with 4 to 6 launchers there and the radars, the S-400 is not doing a good job taking down ballistic missiles, at least US-provided ballistic missiles, which kind of makes it laugh because we always get into this trend where Russia says they've invented something that is unstoppable, it's the best thing in the world, and either they don't use them, or they barely use them like the S-500, or we just kind of come in and destroy it left and right. And so, going back to what happened last night, clearly, either the S-400 had too many objects to track, and so our weapons were able to destroy them on contact, or maybe they hit them as soon as they got close, and that fire is just the rocket left, impacted the ground or something. We just don't know at this time. And that's the funny thing about Russia, is that they're never going to tell you the truth. The only time we ever find things out is when there's a satellite above looking down into the general area, and like NASA, they saw that there was a fire, and that indicated that something had happened here. Now, what does this mean moving forward? Well, I have to laugh and say that there had been Russian reports that this attack was carried out by F-16s, which makes it laugh just a little bit, because S-400s versus an F-16, I don't think the F-16 is going to do well. We also know that Ukraine at this very moment has no feeling towards putting F-16s in any harm's way. Any harm's way. I mean, even the commander-in-chief, Syrskyi, said that they wouldn't put F-16s any closer than 40 kilometers from the front lines because they don't want them attacked, which makes sense. So for this Russian report to come out and state that, oh, F-16s did this, then that's kind of funny, because I think they only have, AIMS? Or at least they're going to get AIMS. And I think it's AIM-9, whatever, I forget which one. It's an air-to-air missile system the United States is providing to Ukraine for the F-16s. And so, between the videos we've seen of the ATACMS being launched, seeing things get hit in Russia, to say F-16s of that is fairly wrong. But I still think that eventually down the line, Ukraine will use F-16s to attack occupied Crimea. It makes sense. You take down all the Russian air defense systems right on the coastline. Then F-16s can launch from Odessa, go at the water length, like 12, 15 feet from the water, cruise over, get closer to Crimea, go up, launch their missiles, turn around, and come right back to Odessa. It makes sense because it protects the planes. It also gives the plane some kind of coverage when they're flying that low. Russia can't really see it. They can take out things they need to, whether it's more air defense systems, whether it is air bases, whether it's radars. Take it out and come back. And then if they have to lose one of the F-16s because they got hit or something, they can crash land it right in the Black Sea. Russia can't get it unless they try to come into there, and then the Neptunes could just take care of those ships, and it is what it is. And as we're seeing more and more Russian air defense systems go down, we're seeing ideas like that kind of move forward. I say this because let's talk about what happened in Kerch just past, on the 31st. It looks like Russia's air defense systems is like Swiss cheese. If Ukraine's able to go deeper and deeper into Russia, into Kursk and other areas, and not be taken down, that means Russia's air defense system is non-existent, which Ukraine can then go in. They could take out things they need to, and we'll be good to go. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I really can't wait to see what the satellites are going to show us tomorrow. As soon as we have any updates, I'll let you know either on YouTube Shorts or on TikTok, if TikTok allows me to post videos, because today it's not doing so well. But I want to thank you for joining me. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe, turn on notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. I'm Joey. Take care.